can introduce yourself now.
Hi there, my name is Emily Kyle. Thank you so much for having me. I'm a registered dietitian and a holistic cannabis practitioner, and I help those with autoimmune and inflammatory conditions use cannabis and nutrition to improve their health.
That's awesome, Emily. I'm thankful that you were able to take the time out of your day to kind of do this podcast.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here.
So obviously you were saying that you're a dietitian, kind of focusing around like cannabis and stuff like that. And what kind of got you into that?
Yeah, so I originally started as a dietitian, went to school to become a dietitian. When I was a little girl, my younger sister was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. So growing up, health was always a really big influence in our life. And I went to school for nutrition and I worked in a hospital for a few years. And I really kind of saw that clinical work or hospital work wasn't really in line with my holistic approach to wellness. And at the same time, our culture here in America is changing so rapidly and people are really starting to embrace cannabis as medicine. So it really just became like this perfect timeline of being able to infuse the two.
I think that's the same with most industries because obviously most people follow what the American markets are doing. With them becoming more open to cannabis, most people are seeing that it is a viable kind of career choice now.
Definitely. And especially as we don't even have federal legalization here, it's still mostly illegal. But the fact that big businesses are being built, consumers' attitudes are just changing and people are ready for a change.
Yeah, well, and obviously I'm in Scotland. The way we work is we have to wait for the UK Parliament to do any bills to legalise anything. But we're so close to Amsterdam, so it's like an hour flight, so it's not like a
Oh my
problem.
gosh, that's amazing.
But here it's in Scotland, it's a weird kind of situation. Is the police don't really enforce any laws
Mm-hmm.
but around cannabis. Obviously, they enforce laws, but around cannabis don't really enforce any laws. So they kind of just, as long as you're not kind of bothering anybody or your parks or anything like that, they don't really bother about it.
Would you
But
say that it's like easy to get product where you're at?
yeah, yeah, I can literally walk outside just now and be able to
Oh my
ask.
gosh, that's amazing. It sounds like you're like way further ahead than America.
Oh, it's always been like this since I remember when I was a little. I mean, like a little boy, like a 5-year-old, 6-year-old. I remember people smoking it when we were at the park and stuff like that, and you just always know where to go get it. It's so easy to get it here, which is obviously weird because it's illegal. So it's against the you can go out and get it anywhere.
I feel like everyone is just so much more accepting from Europe all over compared to America.
Yeah, the attitudes in Europe and UK is a little bit different, but the attitudes everywhere in Europe and Scotland, stuff like that, is always kind of open to whatever's kind of going on. That goes
Oh
from
my,
anything equal pay to gay rights or anything. Nobody really bothers. It's just like us. It's cold. We need to deal with cold weather all year round, like terribly cold and rain weather.
mm.
So we're just like anything else can go.
That's awesome.
I know you were saying you're from New York. Is that where you normally practice like your dietitian and stuff like that? 'Cause I don't know how it works in America. In the UK, we kind of have to be stuck to like an area.
Yep. So the way my license is that I practice in New York State, and then I can practice in certain other states, and I can't practice in some states. So it gets a little tricky online. But a lot of people just come right to my office in New York, and I see them in person.
That's awesome. And what obviously, what kind of things have your kind of clients and stuff seen that it's benefited with them? Has it been such like a dramatic change, like using the cannabis with it, or has it just been dealing with that kind of bad diet in the first place anyway?
Yeah, so what a lot of clients when they come to me, they're already sick, and usually they typically have like an autoimmune or inflammatory condition, things like IBS or migraines. And a lot of times I'm the end of the rope for them, and they don't really know where else to turn, or they haven't gotten the relief that they're looking for from their medical doctor. So what we do is we do a combination of nutrition and cannabis protocols. We'll do nutrition and dietary changes first to see what kind of improvements we can see, and then we'll layer in the cannabis therapy. And most clients are just so thrilled to see results after years and years of prescription medications and doctor's appointments that didn't end up leading them to better health.
Yeah, with myself personally, I don't have any other kind of health issues. Um, but from I used to be a professional wrestler, but I broke my neck when I was quite young.
Oh my gosh.
And it was totally my own fault. It wasn't anybody else's. I was stepping out of the ring and I tripped, so it was nobody else's fault. It was just my
Oh
own.
my gosh, that's terrible.
But my doctor wanted to prescribe me, for instance, different kind of drugs and
Mm-hmm.
steroids to be able to get back to like a normal level of living. And I've never really been into somebody taking like a prescribed drug unless I'm
Yes.
really ill. So I just was like, no, I'm just going to. I looked online. I seen that you could treat it with cannabis and certain yoga exercises. So I focused on that for probably about a year and a half, and my neck's never gave me any issues. Probably
Oh
one
my
of
gosh.
the best parts of my body. Like doctors have said to me, I've got a really flexible neck for somebody who's done wrestling and mixed martial arts for a long period of time. I've said it's actually weird that my neck's so good for what happened to it.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. And it's stories like that where if people were just given the alternative option, like you could choose prescriptions or you could choose cannabis therapy, people just deserve a choice and then they can choose. But stories like yours just go to show like how powerful cannabis can be for so many reasons.
Yeah, the kind of tipping point for that was when I was growing up. My mum was she was really unwell from the day like I was born.
Mm-hmm.
She used to take like 26 different types of medication in the morning. I think it was like 36 or 46 at night, and that was just
Wow.
to kind of, that was like a daily routine. And she would take ones up throughout the day as well. Um, and seeing how when she eventually passed away because of how unwell she was, I was like, that's literally because of these. This is a terrible way to live. So I just anytime I need an antibiotic or anything like that, I just kind of try and figure out a different way of getting to it. Sometimes it could just be exercising differently, focusing on yoga, steam rooms. Cannabis helps a lot with colds and stuff like that as well.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. That's unfortunate. I'm really sorry. But what you said, like focusing on the things that you can control, yoga, exercise, they're so easy to do. And for so many people, it's so hard for them just to do it. But hearing like stories like you, where you use those therapies and you see positive results, that's what helps people really get interested in cannabis and wonder the power that it has.
And obviously, coming from your kind of expertise, it's diet's one of the most important parts of keeping like a strong immune system. I
Yes.
know a lot of people the minute you say, "Oh, what's your diet like?" Because I'm a qualified personal trainer, so I hated doing nutrition when I was in university. But I know it's now I understand how much an important part. But the teacher that I had at the time was so boring about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like when I ask somebody like, how their diet was, everybody will like roll their eyes. They're like, you don't. It doesn't mean you can't have fun days. Like, you're allowed to
Right.
have fun. Just watch what you're eating.
Exactly. And it's really a mindset shift for a lot of people too. I feel like here in America, at least the culture is, healthy food is a punishment, where I feel like when you really kind of see the results that it can bring you, it really becomes a joy and you become thankful really for healthy food rather than dreading it.
Yeah, well, for instance, my little boy, he would rather prefer having like an apple, strawberries, banana instead of from having chocolate or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
He just naturally doesn't like it. And he'll eat it if it's there, but it's not like if it was an apple or chocolate, he'd take the apple. And it's like, at what point of time do you start learning to eat the
Right.
unhealthy side instead of from eating the healthy side?
Definitely. And it's honestly, it's something that we have so much control over, and I feel like people underestimate the amount of control they have with changing their diet.
Yeah, totally agree with that as well. Especially, I think a lot of people that are in lower income households don't realise how readily available and cheaper it is to buy healthier foods.
Yes.
because a lot of people will normally go to like the ready meal, the microwave dinner.
Yep, it's the same way here in America too, and a lot of it is convenience. A lot of people would rather just get a meal that's already prepared for them than take the time to get the fresh fruits and vegetables and prepare a meal themselves.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that happens here as well. It's trying to explain to people you can have like a TV dinner every now and again. Like you don't need
Right?
you don't need to be consistently amazing at your diet every single day. If you
Right.
slip up here and there, that's okay because that's fine to do.
Do you find that people are lacking basic cooking skills? Because I find that that's a really big issue here.
Yeah, but in school we're kind of taught. So we have a class when we're in school in Scotland. We get it's called home economics, so you learn how to cook straight away. So that's when you start your high school. So
Mm-hmm.
it's secondary school for us. We learn cooking from like day one, and you keep that for the first 4 years of your school.
Oh my gosh, that's
Um,
amazing. That's so helpful.
I think it's 2 to 4 years. I can't even remember. It's been that long, but
Wow. I
it's
feel like here in America, we maybe had like maybe 1 year, probably less.
it's. I think it's we kind of get taught exactly how to cook like soups and stuff like that as well. So then you get a test on that. So you
Mm-hmm.
need to learn it, and it gets stuck with you for so long that you end up just remembering it.
That's amazing.
It's a good thing as well because it keeps obviously everybody kind of gets that basic level of being able to cook food um, instead of from but there is people out there that don't even know how to make toast, which is silly.
It's true. It is true. And sometimes people are just intimidated to get in the kitchen if they've never done it before.
Yeah, I don't even know how people are like don't like it because that's but if I've got friends round we're always in the kitchen. If we're having beers or anything like that we're in the kitchen. Anything I do like my whole life is around the kitchen. I don't
Right? It's
remember
like,
not being in
yeah,
it.
of course. And it's like a source of entertainment. I think people underestimate how much food plays a bigger part in like our social lives as well.
Yeah, and especially see with what's going on just now, obviously the unnamed virus that's going around,
Mm, yep.
that everybody's kind of realising, oh, like going to, for instance, the pub or going to the cinema or going to the gym is such a social event that you don't
Yep.
realise how many people you speak to, you interact with, even if you just catch eyes with them on a daily basis. Being stuck in the house with only your close family members, people are missing that interaction, especially what I've noticed in Glasgow just now as well.
It's the same way here. I think that people underestimate like how important just those small social interactions are every day, and I really worry when this virus is over like what the mental health impact will be of all this social isolation. Obviously we need it and it's important, but I really do think it plays a big role on how people feel physically and mentally.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about being able to podcast and speak to people all across the world is you can always, even though you're talking via a laptop or a phone, you're always able to kind of interact with people.
Yes, I honestly love it because I've been socially isolated now for 3 weeks. Like it's just so nice to talk to somebody.
We we're just coming up for the end of our third week, so I think next Tuesday is when our lockdown's officially meant to end. But
Wow.
things just keep getting worse, so it's probably going to get extended to maybe mid-May. I think it will get extended to. So it's
I think, yeah, that honestly, every day here, they just keep saying it's going to be longer and longer and longer. I definitely don't see the end in sight anytime soon.
yeah, especially in America and New York, especially there's such a dense population. So I think it's like 360 million people live in America. So
It's crazy.
compared to like Italy, the, it's much more easier for a virus to spread because there's
Yeah,
so many more people.
yes. I live very rural, very country outside of the city, and I've never been more thankful to have space and to not be close to people.
I live in the city centre of Glasgow, which is there's not a lot of people that live in Glasgow. It's like 500,000,
Hmm.
but I'm looking at countryside houses just now.
Right?
I'm like, just in case something happens again, I need to get away from everybody as far
Yeah,
as I can.
it really is a big wake up call, I think, for a lot of people. I mean, even in terms of like health and how you're taking care of your health, like this whole global pandemic really makes you think so differently about your life and what you're doing.
I think especially coming from the expertise that you've got in nutrition, that's one of the
Hmm.
a lot of people forget is just eating some healthy food every single day. It does give you that immune system boost. It does make you feel better. Exercising 3, 4 times a week does help you feel better.
Yes, I really think people absolutely underestimate how much of their immune system is controlled by their choices every day, the food that they eat, the exercise that they do. Here in the States, people are so quick to buy a supplement. Everybody's bought up all the vitamin C supplements at the marketplace, but really, they should just be buying strawberries and bell peppers and eating healthy foods to support their immune system.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I've got like a small supermarket just round the corner from where I live,
Oh,
and
nice.
they're always stocked with like fresh fruit, so it's really handy. But people go in and buy supplements, even though when you first walk in the door, there's probably 50 to 60 different fruit products just sitting there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have
It's
bypassed the healthy stuff to go get the pre-packaged supplement.
Yes, yes. It's the same thing here. And I'm always telling people like whole, real foods are the best. And then you can supplement if you need to. There's always a time and a place for supplementation, but it's not first, food first, then supplements.
Yeah, so for instance, when I'm doing like some sort of, I like to do like challenges within exercising in the gym to push my body to like a different
Mm-hmm.
part of exercising. So this week I'm doing a thousand push-ups, 1,000 sit-ups, and 1,000 squats.
Oh my
And
God. Look at you.
I've just finished my 1,000 push-ups today, and I'm struggling to hold my hands
Congratulations.
up. So it's, but I'm doing it just to kind of test where I am.
That's
But
awesome.
I'm having to eat more fruit and obviously more protein to be able to
Yes.
cope with the muscle strenuous. It would be easy for me to go for like a protein shake, which I would normally go for.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in the house, so I'm like I'm just going to cook some chicken, maybe some red meats, go for some of the beans that are filled with protein and stuff like that instead of them
Yep.
being stuck just with a protein shake. 'Cause if I have an advertising agency, so when I'm running that and my team's in, I've got no time to sit and cook meals at the office. I have to deal with the team. But then I'm in the
Mm-hmm.
house, so I'm like I can cook food, get my kids involved, and it gives you that kind of option to have family time and eat good as well.
I think that's so important. How old are your kids?
Uh, 4 and 3, but my little girl turns 4 this Friday.
Oh, I have a 5-year-old, so I know how fun it is and frustrating it is to get them in the kitchen with you.
The both of them love food. See if you say to them, "Oh, we're going to cook something," they're the first people that run into the kitchen to cook. To cook. They love cooking. They love
Oh,
cutting all the kind of
it's
fruit and veg up,
adorable.
pastas. It is adorable.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute. And honestly, I think in terms of being a parent, helping your child learn how to eat healthy is one of the best gifts that you can give them because it makes their adult life so much easier.
Yeah, definitely as well. But a lot of people just get that. I think there's a poor negative concept, just like with cannabis, around diet. Everybody thinks
Hmm.
it to be this plain, boring, like food, but you can have like a really healthy.
Yeah.
You could have healthy pizza, healthy burgers. Not every
Oh,
single day,
anything.
but you can. Yeah, most people just kind of have that negative connotation. I think it's just
Yes.
from like bad marketing from back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s,
Yes, agreed, 100%.
and it's still kind of stuck around in the world today.
Definitely. It's so true. Anytime I hear the word diet, I cringe, but that's still the word to describe how people eat. It's so diet has such a bad connotation with it.
It's such a silly word as well to describe how people eat because it's like yeah, like diets. Obviously, you think of like diet coke and stuff like that, and you're always like
Right. Yes.
chemicals, like everything like unnatural when you think of diet.
Yes.
So I think it's such a silly word. Like I used to be like, just ask people what they eat instead of them asking what their diet's like. Because
It's yes, so
the minute
smart.
you ask what somebody eats, they'll tell you, but the minute you ask somebody's diet, they always get nervous. It's like a doctor asking how you're feeling.
I find people get really attached to diet labels as well, and really like it becomes part of their identity, and they get kind of like possessive almost like. And if it's done healthy, I think there's no problem with it, but people really like the labels.
Yeah, especially in like the supermarket here. I don't know what it's like in America, but here you have like a little label on the back of every product that will tell you exactly how much fat is in it, exactly how much carbs, salt,
Yes, yep,
sugar.
we have that too. And then they'll all be labeled like keto, vegan,
Yeah,
gluten free, literally anything under the sun that they could put a label on, they'll put a label on it.
and you'll see people in the supermarket, they're looking at the back of like bananas to see,
Right?
and it's
Yes.
like, you know it's healthy, it's bananas, it grows in a tree, just take it home with you, stop looking at it.
Exactly. It's like putting a gluten free sticker on a banana. It's nothing but marketing.
Yeah, we get the exact same stuff on like fish. Like if you're in a supermarket and you get raw fish, chicken, steaks, it's always got those labels on it,
Mm,
and it's like they surely should have came for like a real animal. They shouldn't-
right.
don't need a label to tell me where it's came from.
Right.
Yeah, it's just one of those weird things that I'm sure that you would probably have to deal with in your career, and it's going to annoy you sometimes.
Definitely, especially some of the like misleading labels, like the one they like to use here in America is all natural, even though they'll put like artificial ingredients in it. Like I'm pretty sure that Europe has much stricter standards for labeling than we do here in America. So a lot of the labels that we see are really just unnecessary more than anything.
Yeah, the European Union have really strict standards on labelling, and also have strict standards on how food is prepared. So how animals are, slaughtered, how
Yes.
vegetables are grown has to be like a set. They have like legislation for everything. So it's much better to see it in play.
Everybody I know says that the European Union standards are so much better than here in America that it's not even comparable.
Yeah, I would say that they're 100% not better, but like they're more stricter to follow. It's because there'll be like certain ways you have to grow everything, so it makes
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
more uniform as well, instead of from it being like weird things. I know in America you get chlorinated chicken, which we don't get here.
Right.
Um,
Right.
it's weird that I'm always like, why would you put chlorine in with chicken? I don't get it. Just wash it. I don't get it.
It's so interesting to see the differences. I don't know, especially like in 2020, you think that everybody would agree on what is safe, but unfortunately, I feel like America is just so far behind.
Again, it kind of it's not just America. There's quite a lot of other countries in the world that are the same, but it's um, for
Interesting.
instance, for instance, what's happened just now, people are saying it's been caused by a bat from China. So
Yes, I heard
th-
that.
that's that obviously wouldn't be a great nutrition topic.
Right?
It's I think it's just everybody just needs to sit down and go, okay, this is a healthy foods and this is the non-healthy foods.
Yes.
I don't know what the education system is like, but we get taught from like primary school. You get like they'll give you a plate, so like a
Hmm.
picture of a plate, and you have to it's split into thirds, which is kind of your healthy. So every plate should be split into a third, and you get your carbs, your meats, and your vegetables.
Yep.
It's such a terrible way to think of it, but it's just the way they teach kids. Like you have to have these three things on every single plate.
Yep. We actually have something similar. It's a plate and it's got grains, meat, fruit, vegetable, and dairy. Which I wish it didn't have dairy on it because I don't think that dairy is 100% necessary for everybody. Like I feel like it can be optional, but it's not necessary. But that's really kind of unfortunately, I don't think that there is a lot of great education for our youngsters in nutrition here in America.
Yeah, the plate that we had doesn't have dairy on it because if you're like me, I don't like milk. I don't know, I just don't like it.
Right, right. There's a lot of people who don't.
You can give me like a glass of milk and I'll just, I'm sorry, I can't drink that. It's
Ugh,
disgusting.
same. No way. I could never drink just a regular glass of milk. It's so gross.
I think it's mostly the thought of where it came from.
I
Uh,
know. Like, I'm not a milk person, but like my husband will drink a gallon of milk a week. And I'm like,
It,
oh my God, it's so gross.
if it's in cereal or something, that's cool. But
Yeah.
even then, I would just eat the cereal and leave the rest of the milk. But then people drink it, and you're like, oh, just
Yeah, no. I feel like milk's one of those things, like you love it or you hate it.
especially when it turns, like when it goes off.
Oh
It's
God, ew.
I just don't like it.
No, me neither.
So how do you feel that the your nutrition kind of side of stuff and cannabis has helped you a lot? Has it helped your life? Has it helped like your
Oh, on
husband
a
and
personal
kids and
level?
stuff like that? Yeah,
Yeah, personally, I've been using cannabis for the past 10 years to manage anxiety and depression. It's funny because I spent a better part of that entire 10 years hiding it, completely hiding it from everybody and trying. I was so afraid of being judged and I was so afraid that I wouldn't be able to have a successful career as a cannabis user. So it's super ironic now that it's basically my whole career and that's all that I talk about. But I always tell people, like, even as a healthcare provider, I am absolutely biased positively towards cannabis because I use cannabis and it improves my life in so many different ways that obviously I'm a huge cannabis advocate and champion.
yeah, especially for me as well. Quite similar. I suffered with a lot of depression when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So after when my mum passed away, I ended up being homeless for a period of time.
Oh my
And because
gosh.
of that, I was always like self-conscious about saying to somebody, "Oh, I was homeless at this time," if I was applying for like a job, or
Mm-hmm.
I've mostly always been self-employed, but there was a point when I had to did apply for some jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and they would always ask, "Oh, what's this gap in your CV?"
Resume.
And yeah, I'd be like, "Oh, I was homeless," and you'd always get those kind of judging. You'd feel they were judging you, but they
Yep.
weren't at all.
Yep.
Um, and I overcame that by I ended up I don't really like jobs, so I decided to do my own thing that I
That's
enjoy.
awesome.
Um, but being able to teach people, so when sometimes I get clients in that suffer from anxiety as well.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to let them know like the different kind of sides of stuff. Obviously, we can't recommend cannabis use here because it's illegal.
Right.
But I tell them what I would do. I would fly to Amsterdam and relax. But I would mostly kind of let them know that exercise and stuff like that they can do. Or like I said, I would tell them to take a trip to Amsterdam, relax and enjoy yourself.
I think it's like necessary though. Like even it's so here where I live in New York, it's not legal either, and I can't tell people just go buy cannabis. It's not legal, but at the same time, people respect the opinions of others and the educated opinions of others. So as you and I have both used cannabis, people are going to listen, and you make just a gentle recommendation. Take a little flight. People actually will, and they will absolutely try it.
Yeah, I've seen people that I've worked with, so old clients that are not even, they don't have businesses anymore that I've sold them on. Have messaged me and they're like, oh, we're in Amsterdam for the next 2 3 weeks. Um, you know any good recommendations? This is my fifth time this year, and it's like that. It's great to see that people are going and opening their mind instead of them being, oh, I'll just take paracetamol or I'll take some sort of painkiller
Right.
to lessen the effects of what's going on with anxiety and stuff like that.
Definitely. I get a lot of people who um, have used prescription medications but are afraid to use cannabis, which I find super interesting because I am more comfortable using cannabis and more afraid of prescription medications. And so I always tell people, cannabis is no more harmful than any prescription medication. And if you are comfortable taking prescription medications, I would absolutely say you should be comfortable using cannabis.
Yeah, definitely, especially because you can buy some seeds and grow a cannabis tree in your house.
Yes, yes. I if that's not legal here in New York, but I am a really, really big advocate for hopefully seeing that in the future of being able to grow your own cannabis. Because I feel like just as you are able to grow your own food, you should be allowed to grow your own medicine.
Yeah, it's not legal here either. But they don't frown upon it again. Like you can go to the shop and buy like
Mm-hmm.
you can go buy seeds, you can go buy the everything you need, and as long as you don't put them together, they don't care.
Really?
Yeah, they can if you for instance if you went and bought them all at the same day, no one
Uh-huh.
would do anything to you. But if you put them all together in a pot and let it grow, then that's when it's a problem.
Interesting. So, as a nutritionist, like I'm very interested in the health benefits of raw cannabis. I've seen a lot of people juice the leaves, and just recently wrote an article for this magazine that I write for, talking about the health benefits of THCA and CBDA. But without letting people have legal access to plants, they're never going to be able to access those health benefiting properties. So I'm hoping that we're going to take this a little bit more out of like the medical realm and focus on cannabis and the role it plays in nutrition as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it should just be for everybody that you can enjoy it as in if you want to relax,
Yes.
if you want to have fun, if you want to use it for nutrition, if you want to use it medically, it should be everywhere. Plus, it's such a versatile plant. You can use it. You can make hemp houses.
Yes.
You can make hemp paper. You can make. There's so much you can do with it. So
Literally so much. And I feel like if we just gave people a little bit more education on how to use it and what you can do with it, I feel like the fear would be gone and taken away and people would be comfortable and it would just be normal.
yeah, especially because most of the fear that people have is because of bad marketing. For instance,
Yep.
like they stopped making hemp paper because the gentleman who petitioned for it in America was a he owned a paper factory and owned a
Mhm.
newspaper, so he just wanted to use it. He wants to make money, obviously, which is insane to think that's still in law to this day.
I know, and it's just such a shame. I mean, we just rattled off 10 different things that cannabis can do positively, and yet I find that most people are just so afraid of THC, just THC, like nothing else. Um, and it really is just like a lack of education. And I feel like if we could provide education on how to safely use cannabis, that fear would go away.
The one thing we always struggle here is with the kind of the older generation still being stuck with that marketing
Yep.
terribleness in their brain. For instance, there was a talk show on that probably 2 weeks ago I was watching, and it was a gentleman who was saying he took a CBD like a CBD vitamin tablet,
Mm-hmm.
and he woke up the next day with an extreme feeling of like he had like an extreme hangover,
Oof.
and it was like it was just because of the CBD. And I've took CBD kind of vitamin kind of tablets for a long time. I've never
Mm-hmm.
with a sore head.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
I'm like I think they actually, especially if you wake up with a hangover, I think they help you.
Right?
I've never heard of
Exactly.
it at all. Yeah, so that's kind of what you have to deal with here as well. Is a lot of people still looking down on it that way, saying like, "Oh, I'll give you a sore head." A lot of people saying that it makes you lazy, which it doesn't, because I go to the gym more when I'm high than what I do when I don't.
I'm so glad you said that because I find that cannabis makes me the opposite of lazy. I feel like it makes me want to get things accomplished. It makes me feel well enough to do things. And ever since I started using cannabis before I went to the gym, I have been so much more excited and interested, invested in my fitness, which is actually something I haven't shared with a lot of people, but I swear it makes me so much more motivated and interested in participating.
I think it just makes you more focused as well. Obviously,
Yeah,
works different in different. Some people do have bad experiences with it, but that's just like if somebody was drinking beer too much or somebody's had too
exactly.
many. It's the same as like a whiskey and cannabis could be seen as the same. People
Yep.
could get addicted to drinking whiskey, which is really, really bad for you.
Mm-hmm. I always tell people like CBD is like the non-alcoholic beer, and then you work your way up, and the more THC you have, it's like having liquor. It has that more strong effect, but you still always control how much you consume.
Yeah, I think as well, it's just I'm a person that doesn't have like an addictive personality.
Mm-hmm.
If you took anything away from me, so I like beer. If you took beer away from me, I won't miss it. If you took the gym away from me, I won't miss it. Like I just
Right.
I don't get addicted to doing anything.
Right.
Like I'm passionate about things, but like I don't miss them when they're away because it's not like I've never had an addictive personality, but those kind of people, I think that's something that people need to look into more. And it could be a nutrition side is people get addicted to things, for instance, beer, cannabis,
Yep.
other harder drugs. And a lot of times when you look back at those people's like health history, they've had a really poor diet. And I always think that could be something that's kind of contributed towards being having an addictive personality as well.
Yes. I totally agree. A lot of people ask me, like, can you get addicted to cannabis? And I always say, well, you can get addicted to anything. Absolutely. It's all about how you use it. And you have the power of using cannabis for good and improving the quality of your life. But you can also use cannabis for bad, and it can detract from the quality of your life. It's all about the intention you set and what you expect to get out of it.
I always think it's ironic when somebody asks that, and normally if they're texting or DMing you or whatever, they're doing it via their phone, asking if they can get addicted, and they sit on their phone probably 6 7 hours a day. Like the first thing they check when they wake up is their mobile phone, um,
Hmm.
Facebook and social media and stuff like that. And I'm always like, well, you're already addicted. You need to.
Yes. People don't even mention that. You're so right.
Yeah, it's literally it's weird. I always think with social media, especially for me, since I run an advertising agency, which is mostly around social media, my whole point is to get people's attention on social media.
Right. Yep.
But I tell clients like when we're going to post, we just need to post and let it set. We don't need
Yeah.
to do it every single day because people don't. You don't want them on their phone every single day. You want to catch them whenever they just check it. You also want
Right.
just now it's not a great example to go out and stuff like that as well. But for instance, if we're doing like a shop, we always want people to go out to the shop instead of from being stuck in, or a restaurant go out instead of from ordering
Yep.
in. But it's the same as nutrition. I think it's the same as anything. Like you can be addicted to social medias, you can be addicted to eating a chocolate bar.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I mean, you can use social media for good, like running your business, or you can use it for bad and waste your time. And it's exactly the same with cannabis.
Yeah, and one of the things you always like to ask people is, what was your first experience with cannabis?
So I don't even know if I really remember, but I know that when I first started using cannabis, I was in high school and I had a boyfriend who introduced me to it. And I didn't really like it at first, probably because I had no tolerance. But I found that over time, I started to like it more and more. But when I first started using it, it was purely recreational, no medicinal uses. Um, and I kind of just loved it. You know, when you're young, you're a teenager, you like kind of that fun, high experience.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing to get a to test the waters with anything,
Yep.
because then you can see. So for me, when I was younger, I didn't drink alcohol because I was wrestling a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
my only time that I could relax is if I was taking cannabis, and it was just kind of one of those. If I did drink alcohol, I didn't drink that much because I was probably in another city the next night.
Right.
So being able to take cannabis and wake up, not have a hangover, get a good night's sleep, fully rested, and feel great the next morning to go to the gym and then go perform, which was the best thing about it. Is it's like a drug with no aftermath, like no come down, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I feel like people actually don't talk about it that much. And here in the United States, drinking is completely normal and accepted. And drinking too much is actually completely normal and accepted. But I don't like drinking and I don't like feeling that way afterwards. And that's what I love about cannabis is really no matter how much you use, you don't have that hangover, that sickness that you get with alcohol.
Yeah, well, I'm from Scotland, so it's part of our culture to to drink.
Drinking,
Just like yeah, just like Ireland, it's pretty much the only thing that you can really do here if you want to go out somewhere.
you do have like all the like, it's like a pub, right?
Yeah,
Is
we
that what
have
you call it, pub?
it. Yeah, it's a pub is generally what it's called, but you get like different. You get pubs.
That's that's super fun though. Like that's part of your culture. That's what everybody does, right?
Yeah, it's literally, so we get like different levels. So you get like pub, bar, club, and nightclub. So bar
Oh,
is like a more higher up. Nightclub is when you go out at night. A club is somewhere that you're going to stay till maybe midnight, 1 o'clock, and then a pub is literally just like an old man's pub. You go in, it's still got the bar, like the 1800s and stuff like that. So it's really it's like really in our culture. Plus, our country's a lot older than most people.
yeah.
Scotland, I think, is over well, I guess over 1,500 years old. So we've literally been doing the same the same thing for a long period of time. It's in our DNA.
I kind of love it. It is. It's part of your culture.
Yeah, it's weird. Like we have a lot of a different culture from England when we're so close to them. So Scotland and Ireland have similar cultures,
Mm-hmm.
but England and Wales have totally different cultures than us. And it's
Interesting.
like the minute you cross the border, it's two different cultures, and it's just
Really?
the same with thoughts towards cannabis, the same thoughts towards for us just now it's staying in the European Union and leaving. Thoughts
That is
towards
so interesting.
alcohol. It's we've always been different, and if you look back at history, Scotland and England's always not got on anything.
I feel like going to Scotland, going to Europe is like on my lifetime bucket list. Like I just really hope that I get to do it at some point in my life.
It's weird, but when I hear Americans and not just generalising when they say like they want to come to like Scotland and Europe.
Right?
Europe's so close to where I'm at, so like going to Paris is only like I think it's an hour and a half flight from here.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
I think Amsterdam's like an hour 15. It's like not like far for us.
Yeah.
We take it for granted, like how close most of the historical areas in the world are from us.
It's so true. I mean, you could probably go to like how many different countries are like within an hour of you?
So we're pretty much nearly the whole of the European Union, and then you've got the Scandinavian countries like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, things like that. They're all we can see Norway in a clear day from
Oh my gosh.
the east coast of Scotland.
Do you travel a lot?
Yeah, so I used to travel a little bit more when I didn't have kids, but
Yeah.
when I can, I try and get them traveling and stuff like that as well. Being able to experience those different cultures and countries at a young age is great. Uh,
I
but I don't.
definitely feel like I missed that in my life. Like I've only ever experienced American culture, and I don't know. Feel like Americans dream of going to Europe and meeting and seeing so many different cultures.
Yeah, I love America. I think it's one of the best places ever.
Oh, you do?
Every time I've been when I was wrestling and things like that, I love it. It's great. I love the food. I love the culture. I just love everything about everything about it. The way the politics works. Um, I love to kind of when I go travelling, I like to get involved in whatever's kind of going on. So like,
Hmm.
I spend quite a lot of time either in Amsterdam, Holland, Paris, Germany, stuff like that. So that's so many different cultures within such a short
Right.
space of each other. Those are fun, but for me, America's great. I think it's just because it's so big. You can
Yeah.
travel anywhere.
It is. Yeah. Now that you're talking about how close all the other countries are, and I'm thinking like in America, that's where you're still in America no matter how far you go.
Yeah, I was reading an article that was like if you drove from New York to LA, you would be in Russia from uh, from London. So
Yeah. Yeah,
it's a
that's
huge
probably
it's a
true.
huge, it's a huge country. But I like the Middle America kind of side, like Montana.
Yeah.
I like Washington. I like New York and stuff like that as well. But I just like the kind of open middle of nowhere. feel
Yes,
of
that's where I
Middle
live.
America.
Yes. I'm not a big city girl. I guess that's one thing nice is just living like super rural and not being like, especially right now, not being in New York City where there's a million people.
Yeah, especially it's weird when you look at, for instance, America and Scotland's only got 5 million people in total.
Wow.
Some cities in America, it's the whole country of Scotland can fit into a. There's one field in Texas that it can actually fit into. So
Oh my gosh, that's crazy to think about.
yeah, it makes you feel so small.
Definitely, definitely. Is it easy to travel from country to country in Europe?
Yeah, this is. It's, if you're in, obviously at the moment we're leaving the European Union, which
Mm-hmm.
isn't something that I want, but uh, that's what's happening, and
Wow.
it's going to make it harder for us. So, for
Okay.
instance, we'll need to go to the international area. If you're kind of flying to like France or something, it'll take us longer to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
When just now, like it takes us 5-10 minutes, you just go to the normal European check-in. But if you're in Europe, it's easy to travel between any country. You can actually take a train from Portugal and Lisbon in Portugal, and it goes all the way through. You can actually travel to
Oh,
China from Portugal in a train. So it's a long journey.
I feel like I need to plan like a once in a lifetime trip when this is all over. This travel ban is over.
Yeah, there's trains that go everywhere. You can take a train pretty much anywhere in. If you enjoy looking at like countryside and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
train is the best way to get through like France.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Plus, they have cool double decker trains, which we don't have in the UK. So that's
Ooh.
you can go up the
Ooh.
stairs in the train and stuff like that. That's pretty cool.
I love the idea of a train because then you don't have to drive around in a city that you don't know.
Yeah, plus it's really easy with public transport in nearly every country in Europe. Is really good. Taxis, planes,
Oh,
trains, not
perfect.
planes, sorry, trams. Everything's pretty handy. It's not like a hard, especially if it's in Scotland. There's taxi ranks everywhere. There's a subway that only goes to 12 stops, but there's a subway. Um, there's a like trains and all that kind of stuff that goes everywhere.
Do you feel like there's tourists everywhere or just like in the major touristy parts?
Just in the major kind of in
Yeah.
Edinburgh is really bad. Edinburgh's like the worst place for tourists.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Glasgow's mostly people come here to just walk around, see like the cool Victorian buildings
Mm-hmm.
and the big parks, but they don't really you don't really notice them that much. But the Highlands in Edinburgh are the worst for tourists, especially in the Highlands as well, because you can get lost so easy.
Oh.
People just walking around asking directions to to places, and it's going to be like a 45-minute walk in the other direction.
That's funny.
But it's the same, that's the same anywhere in Scotland. It's quite we're close together but far apart, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
Okay.
I stay in the heart of Glasgow, like the city centre of Glasgow. And if I took a 20-minute drive from my house, I would be in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of where there's fields and cows and sheep and things like that.
Oh.
So it's such a small place to live.
Oh, it sounds beautiful though. I can only imagine.
And yeah, so like we were talking about is the nutrition kind of side that you're doing with cannabis. Is it like the edible kind of side that you do, or is it like you were saying you're looking at like the raw kind of plant side? Is it edibles or is it maybe shakes or is there anything different that you're doing?
So what I found is that just kind of how nutrition is individualized to every person, cannabis is individualized to every person. And so I really like to just meet clients where they're at and see because some people simply prefer smoking. And some people really prefer edibles. And I just try and provide education on both and like the differences of like why edibles might give you a different reaction than smoking. So then my clients can pick what's best for them.
No, that's great because a lot of people just kind of stick to like the one. They'll either just tell everybody to take edibles, or like if you go
Right.
to a nutritionist, a lot of times they'll just be like, "Here's a plan that fits everybody."
Yeah,
Um,
so I like to like show people like the different onset times and duration times of different application methods. So like smoking, the onset is 1 to 3 minutes, but the duration is only 1 to 3 hours. versus edibles where the duration can be anywhere from 6 to 12 hours. So if I have a client coming to me who is having trouble sleeping, I'll kind of explain the difference and why edibles might help them stay asleep longer, and kind of provide rationale on why you would use each one in each situation so that they can kind of maximize their opportunities to feel better.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well is, especially you were saying you've got kids, is people think, well, the minute you've got kids, your life has to stop.
Yeah.
You can't you can't enjoy cannabis. A lot of people think you
Right.
can't even go on a night out or anything like
Right.
that. So I think it's just opening the idea. Obviously I seen on Instagram you were saying about mums that like to have fun and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
I think opening that idea to like parents can also enjoy themselves. It doesn't have to be that's your life
Yes.
ended the minute you've got a kid.
Exactly. And I believe that cannabis, for me anyway, allows me to be a better parent by allowing me to be more patient and more present, and really trying to show other people that the stigma, it's there, but we can break it. And it's just because it's there doesn't mean that because you use cannabis, you're a bad parent. And I just want to show people that you can absolutely still use cannabis and still be a great parent. The two aren't mutually exclusive.
Yeah, definitely. Like, a lot of people even now I meet will tell me, how can you run a business if you smoke cannabis? How can you be a parent if you smoke
Yep.
cannabis? And
Yep.
it's like, I do it all. I go to the gym, I run a business, I run multiple businesses, a, a podcast, I look after my kids, everything I do, and it's genuinely, I smoke cannabis, I don't need to worry about it. I'm not doing it to prove anybody wrong either. A lot of people kind of have that,
Yeah.
no, I'm going to over smoke it or over indulge myself just to prove
Right.
people wrong.
No, but people need like to see role models like you. People don't have role models of very successful cannabis using individuals. Either whether it's the stigma or that people are just still shy and not willing to talk about it. But when people see you being so successful, it shows them that you're successful regardless of cannabis use or not, and that cannabis use doesn't indicate a person's ability to achieve success.
Yeah, I still think it's weird that that's still related to being like lazy. Obviously,
Yes.
most cannabis movies haven't added that up either.
Right?
But
I know.
being lazy and stuff is for me personally, like you said, it's total the opposite side. I do it when I'm trying to write, if I've got a serious meeting coming up or anything like that. It helps me relax and helps me get things done compared to
I am exactly the same way. Like it helps me manage my anxiety where I'm able to go to a business meeting and feel confident, or just start my own business in general. Like I don't know if I could have done it without cannabis, to be honest.
I think it sounds weird, but it's like that moral support there as well. Starting a business is kind of like you being a pirate, a sailor, going out there yourself, nobody to help you, and you have to try and make
Yes.
boat not sink.
I completely, yes, 100% agree.
And then if you get staff, you've got these other people you need to look after, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
insane thing. And before you know it, you're sitting like, what? How did I get to here?
Yes. Yes.
I think most people don't really like for business owners. For me personally, I help a lot of business owners by just doing consultancy for advertising and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the one thing that I always say is I speak about. I don't obviously don't ask them. I don't tell them what kind of foods and stuff they should be eating. I just
Mm-hmm.
like to ask because a lot of times restaurant owners don't even eat their own kind of foods that they're making. They eat like microwave dinners, and I'm like, like what the hell? You've literally got a kitchen in your house and a kitchen where you work.
Right?
But yeah, so like I try and like not obviously not tell people to take cannabis, but give them that option. Like that's a crutch that can help you in a way,
Mm-hmm.
just like a vitamin or a protein shake or having alcohol can help you as well. Everything
I
in
think
moderation, obviously.
I think that's a good point too, is a lot of people think that cannabis is just smoking, but like you said, it could be in a protein shake. There's a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be that stereotypical smoking.
Yeah, the other week I had in pasta with like in pasta sauce, and it was delightful.
Mm.
I didn't even think that could be a thing, but it is.
That sounds
Uh,
amazing.
and they have like CBD beers and all that kind of stuff here in the UK. So
You do have
it's
CBD beers?
yeah, it's more CBD is more widely available in the UK
Yeah,
because they don't regulate it, which is an issue as well.
that is the same here. It's not regulated. I don't know if I've seen it in a beer, but I've seen it in just about everything else.
And again, the worst thing at this point is it's not a regulated industry, so you are getting the worst kind of CBD product that isn't even. You'll get good ones, but then you'll also get the terrible ones that are manufactured.
Yes, that's the same way here.
And like you were saying, a lot of people say about being addicted to cannabis. One of the things that people forget is they'll say that, like we were saying about social media, but they'll also be vaping. They'll be using like a vape, uh, e-cigarette, or a vape
Yes,
pen, and it's like you're clearly addicted to, to the nicotine coming from that.
exactly.
Why are you worried about trying something else out?
Yes, I vaping here in the States is a very big thing too. And I think sometimes that people associate that with cannabis use, which I feel like is not true at all. As a cannabis user, I don't use nicotine products, but I feel like in the States, people don't really know the difference between the two.
Yeah, especially I don't know in New York if you have the 2 meter social distancing employed, so you have to stay 2 meters away from everybody.
Oh no, I don't think that we have that in New York.
So well, here we have to, if you're in a queue or in a supermarket or anything like that, you have to stay 2 meters away from everybody.
Oh
And
yes, okay, right now we do, yeah.
if somebody's in front of you and they vape and the smoke comes back to you, that's when I'm like, well, that's defeating the purpose of staying two
Right?
away from you because you've just breathed on me. So,
Ew, yeah.
but yeah, it's one of those. I think uh, cannabis could be. A lot of people try to stay away from it because of the virus that's going around just now because they think it's going to cause a respiratory issue.
I've heard
But I
that,
think
yes.
it helps for me. I had asthma when I was really young, and my asthma's completely gone. And my doctor even says it's totally down to cannabis use.
That's crazy.
He says he's like, there's no way, because I had like a steroid inhaler and things like that when I was
Uh-huh.
younger, and he says like, there's no way it would have went away with any diet, any supplement, nothing. It has to be this. It's the only thing that you've changed since I was younger.
That's crazy. And I like love your doctor for being so like open and acknowledging that.
Because here we have like the doctors can't say anything to anybody, so
Right? Yeah.
you can go in and tell them like, oh, like I took a ton of drugs at the weekend. I don't feel good, and they'll help you. Like they don't judge you. So it's part of
Really? See, that is so not like America.
it's part of having a national health service. We kind of we pay our tax for them to listen to our moaning, so it's good.
That's crazy. That is like really like big, huge difference because here in America, most people lie to their doctors about using cannabis or basically anything.
I always tell my doctor everything I do because they're there to help me. If they know everything that I'm doing, they can help me. They might not agree with it.
Oh my gosh, that's such a huge cultural difference between the two that it's just so opposite here. Doctors are very judgmental. And a lot of people worry that like the doctor like if you have kids, the doctor will call child protective services on you. It's definitely that's definitely different than here.
They do have the option to call it's social services. It's called here, and it's for kids, elderly, and stuff like that as well.
Yep, yes, they do.
But what they do, they kind of take it in. For instance, they see me. I've got a business. Everything else in my health is great. My asthma's actually went away, and they see if I do take my kids to an appointment that I do go to, since we don't do like general health checkups, it's only when we're sick.
Hmm.
They see how well we are. They kind of take it as a whole instead of from just I don't agree with this one point in this gentleman's life, so I'm going to ruin everything else.
It sounds so good. Like it just sounds like the way it should be, you know?
You get some doctors that
Right.
are pains, but you get that in any profession at all. Like you'll probably get some nutritionists that are just overly critical of what everybody does.
Yes, yes, I know that.
But it's generally if they don't agree with it, the doctors will tell you, "Oh look, I don't agree with you when you're doing this." But
But
you
they won't
kind of,
shame you or make you feel bad.
no, I've never experienced it, especially for me, because I like to go and, when I'm sick, I'll go in and tell a doctor, oh, look, I think I've got like a throat infection or
Mm-hmm.
maybe a sinus issue, and they'll look at me and they'll go, oh, it's it's actually this. This is what's caused it,
Mm-hmm.
and we can have a back and forth. But every every doctor I've had have been brand new, especially here as well. You get your doctor from when you're kind of born till they retire,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't move doctors because
Oh, that's so nice.
if you live in an area, there's a doctor that only does that area. There'll be a
Yep.
set, maybe like 10 doctors, and that's it. You kind of get given one doctor, and that's them for life till they retire, or you, unfortunately.
Oh, that's so
That's
nice.
okay. But it's good to kind of have a doctor that just doesn't really. I think everybody's the same. It's just kind of okay. If that's what you do, that's what you do.
It's just the
Oh,
acceptance. Yeah, it's so nice.
yes, they know it's going to harm, and they would rather you tell them instead of them lying to you.
It's so smart though. Like that's the way it should be. They'd rather know.
I think it's the same with so on the NHS you can get nutritionists and dietitians and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctor already knows, so they can see your full medical report,
Right.
and they know exactly like how you're eating, what your blood work and everything is already. So when you go to them, they can kind of figure out if you're lying to them or not.
Right. Yeah.
When, if I've ever had to go to them because I was getting surgery or something like that, they've always just went, what's your diet like? And I go in with it ready, printed out what I've been eating for like the past month, and they're like, oh, that's great, thanks for that.
Oh,
Because
perfect.
they just tick it off. Like it's more of a relaxed. The one thing that's different between Europe and America is Europe's more chilled out.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Obviously, just coming up to the end of the podcast, is there anything you kind of want to round up with? Is there anything you want to say before we kind of close off?
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for having me and allowing me to talk about cannabis and nutrition. And if anyone has any questions, you can always reach out to me. My website is emilykylenutrition.com.
Yeah, we'll have all the kind of links to your social, your website in the description as well. So what we do is stop the recording and we'll have a little chat just after the podcast as well, okay?
Perfect.